Let's talk about your feet for a minute. If you don't know by now, modern shoes are not designed with your foot shape in mind. That means that most modern shoes have a really tight toe box, which is obviously where your toes fit into the shoe, and are compressing your toes together, which is not an ideal shape for your foot, which leads to not ideal movement through your foot, which causes issues all the way up the kinetic chain. So when we look at low back problems, even shoulder problems, hip problems, knee problems, we look at the foot, we can see all sorts of issues going on in the foot that are creating these issues all the way up the chain. So when we're thinking about the foot and what happens when we wear closed-toe shoes, you'll see it all the time where the pinky toe gets pushed underneath the other toes and the big toe gets pushed in and it's no longer pointing straight. We really want that big toe way out here. So creating that space is super important. Why? When that big toe is pushed in, this joint is no longer moving correctly, and so this is why you see people get big toe arthritis, bunions on the side of their feet. So to have that toe back in its normal position, to get this toe moving correctly, now all of a sudden that improves foot mechanics and ankle mechanics, which again, as we talked about, improves movement all the way up the kinetic chain. So I want to give you guys a few simple things that you can do to start to fix the issues that you've got going on in your feet, which will in turn help address some of the issues that you've got going up all the way through your body. So there are now shoe companies out there that are making shoes that are designed around your foot shape. So that is an option out there for you. You can go out and find these brands that are making these shoes and try that out and open up the shoes that you're wearing. But the problem is that we're still going to probably be in situations where we are wearing a shoe with a tight toe box and squishing those feet together. So we still need some ways to correct what's going on in the foot. Now, if you're like most people, or at least most people that I work with, corrective exercise or corrective work is not very fun. It's hard to stick to. It's hard to get motivated to do. So some really simple things that you can do to help correct the problems going on in your feet without spending a whole lot of extra time on your feet. So the first one is very simple. Spend a little bit more time barefoot. So when you get home from work, if you've been wearing dress shoes all day, get those shoes off, spend time barefoot. It might not be super comfortable at first. Your feet might feel sore. The more you spend time barefoot, the stronger those muscles in your feet will get and the better that will feel. The second thing that you can do along with going barefoot is when you take off those shoes that are tight around the toe, throw on some toe spacers. These are super cheap. You can buy them for like $8. Throw those on in between your toes. When you're spending the time barefoot, that will help push your toes back apart and create that shape that we want. So two things that you can do without even thinking about, just in your normal day. Spend more time barefoot, get those toe spacers in when you're spending that time barefoot. That will help get your toes in the right position and, like I said, help strengthen the muscles of the foot. As I mentioned earlier, we probably don't want to spend a ton of time doing specific foot exercises, but there are easy ways that we can strengthen the foot with normal exercises that we're doing in our normal workouts. So that same thing that applies when you're at home, getting those shoes off, applies in the gym. If we can go to the gym and do exercises without the shoes on, that's going to help build what we call proprioception in the foot. So getting that foot more aware of its surroundings and help strengthen the muscles in the foot. So get those shoes off when you can in the gym. Then the next thing that we can do in the gym is start to build in single leg exercises and balance exercises into our normal routine. So if we're normally doing squats, let's build in some single leg squats, some split squats. Anything that we could do unilaterally is going to add some kind of stability element to that exercise and make the muscles of the foot and the ankle work harder, strengthen those muscles, improve the foot mechanics. So really simple there, single leg exercises and stability exercises to help improve the foot musculature. If you need ideas for that, we'll provide some examples up in the top there. So those are a few things that you can do super quick, super painless, that will help improve the mechanics of your foot without you having to spend time specifically working on your foot. So give those a try.